Alright, Christmas is just around the corner. It's going to be here before we all know it. And before it gets too late, we wanted to do a few Christmas gifts. Some big, some small, for those of you who are shopping for someone who loves to cook.
This is in no way a paid advertisement. These are tested, tried, and true tools of the kitchen here at our farm and cooking school in Italy. All right, let's get right to it.
Let's get right to it.
Number one. Now, this we've been talking about a lot this whole year.
We have, because it's the biggest thing we have going this season, and it has changed my life. And that is these pots and pans. Falk. Now, just because you're not a Michelin-starred cook or don't work in a restaurant doesn't mean you can't have these. To be, when you feel them, they make me happy every time I use them. So, what makes the difference? Well, one is the actual copper in these. Don't be fooled by, I've seen this a lot, and we got a couple of questions about it, by this new thing called red copper.
Yeah, I don't know. It's totally fake. I don't know. Imitation. Don't be fooled.
This is, in life, you get what you pay for.
Exactly.
These are beautiful. Not only do they look beautiful, but they work better. They conduct the heat better. And I liken it to a camera, a photo camera. You can have a great camera, but if you stick on a crappy lens to the camera, it doesn't take a beautiful photo. If you have a crappy stove like we do, well, right now there's a hole there, but if you have a crappy stove, induction, electric, or gas, you're actually cooking on this, not on the stove. These are, my favorite one is right here. This is the big frying pan. Of course, you
put it up nice and close.
Okay.
We could take things up.
Oh, it's so it's really, really beautiful, and they feel great. Now, this might not be the most practical one to start with, so what would I suggest to start with? A little saucepan. Something that I use every single day is the medium-sized frying pan. That's a great one. And also,
oh, I think this is your favorite.
Yeah, there it is. The rondeau. This is for everything from soups and to stews to searing and straight in the oven. So
this pan has been filling my Facebook or my Instagram feed. Yeah, he loves to use this one.
This one's gotten a lot of traction. So Falk Cookware, Copper Cookware. Copper Cookware is awesome.
And we'll put links to all this stuff on the blog. We'll do a blog post at the end, and but you can find it. It is Belgium-made, handmade. However, it is available in the U.S., the States.
Just type in Falk, you'll find it. Okay, number two. This will go from one end of the spectrum in cost to the other, and this is this. This is a cutting board with a lip. This is so important because you can get really beautiful, fancy cutting boards and spend a ton of money on them, but this is honestly from IKEA. I think it's $10. But the lip, this is when you use it and we push forward, it doesn't move. The lip catches it. It's a little thing that someone who cooks will absolutely love, and you'll never be able to go back. A cutting board with a lip. Okay, moving on. Ash.
Fine mesh strainer. This is one that you always ask for another one for Christmas every year too. You haven't got one. But
these are not cheap. You have to go to the restaurant supply or online to a really nice place to find them. They're stainless steel with a stainless steel mesh here, and they're usually in this kind of cone shape. They come in several different thicknesses, fine,
sure.
Some are coarser or finer, and they get expensive, but they are awesome.
Why would you use one of these? For someone like me who I have no idea. I know you strain when you do stock. You strain stock with this, but what's another example for what
so if you wanted to take a vegetable puree soup and make it totally smooth and keep out all the big parts, you pass it through here. If you get a fine enough one, you can strain your stock just as well as using putting it through cheesecloth. A Chinois, I'm probably saying that terribly in French, or a fine mesh strainer, or the old name for it was a China cap.
All right, a stocking stuffer that you might not expect. Something that I think Jason should invest in stock in.
Parchment paper. This stuff is, I use this for everything. This is like...
If anyone has taken a cooking class here, they know he has a whole spiel on parchment and lids.
This is a pot lid. This is to line a sheet pan. This is to make a quick piping bag. This is to fix, a million things. Parchment paper.
Not waxed paper.
Not waxed paper, but parchment. Do not use foil, use parchment. This is a great thing. This will change someone's life.
Especially for a baker.
All right, moving on. A food mill or a pasta pomodoro. This is an industrial commercial one, but you can get them made out of plastic and much smaller. This is to make pass tomatoes through, the tomatoes that we jar every year. You can also make we did a video on mashed potatoes. It makes perfectly smooth mashed potatoes. It makes soups, like if you have split pea soup and you want to make it nice and fine, it has a different texture compared to the immersion blender that the bird mixer that you use. A great thing, not expensive at all.
Many different sizes.
Many different sizes. This is the big one for the industrial kitchen.
A classic Christmas gift, and this is one that is on any type of cooking, or maybe not cooking, but Italian lovers gift list. It is so simple, it's so fantastic, it's used every single day in every household across Italy. The mocha. This is the classic Bialetti mocha. This one is, I think, 3 cups. I know, it's barely any. For a normal American, it would be like a cup. But think of 3 little cafes. And then what the best thing to pair with it, besides some gorgeous coffee like Lavazza, is the milk pumper. Now this thing is so ridiculously simple. We've had people ask from our videos and other live things, where did we get our pumper? What's the name of the pumper? I don't know. There's literally nothing. You get it at the grocery store here. I'm sure at any Amazon shop you can find one. It's just a mesh top and you just pump it.
We made a video on how to make one.
But it works every time. It's fantastic. So
really?
The mocha, the pumper, maybe a little cafe, perfect gift.
Okay.
What about taking Tupperware to the next level?
Okay. So here we go.
This one is a little out of the norm for most people.
Okay, so if you have someone in your life who likes to cook, this makes this is the next level of kind of like from the beautiful pots to the fridge. How do we get there? Well, instead of doing Tupperware or crappy plastic, start them on a collection of what is called Lexan, and these are hard plastic containers that can go into the freezer or into the fridge, and they're really nice and neat, and this is what you find in the professional kitchen in the form of plastic. You can drop these, you can kick them, dishwasher safe, they're great. Then, if you want to get into stainless steel, these are called third pans, half pans. These are standardized stainless steel pans. There's different depth. There's 9 pans, which is 1/9 of a full-size hotel pan. This is called a third pan. There's half pans. And this is just, you can do everything in these from, I mean, this is just staples of the kitchen. But what this is this is a little bit more towards professional tools,
yes.
let's say.
Take it a step up. Like we said, these are things that we use all the time in our cooking school, so it's taken it a step up.
These can be found, these 2 things, at any restaurant supply store across the world. These are all standardized sizes and things to find.
The next thing that I would say that should be on your list, now we love our Falk copper pots. They're beautiful.
But the largest one they make is right there, and that's not big enough really for pasta. So let's talk about a pasta pot. Now this is not, the only job this pot has is to boil water.
I'll get these out.
And since all we're doing is boiling water and cooking pasta, we don't need a very thick pot, we don't need a very expensive pot, and it doesn't have to be a copper pot to boil water for pasta, but it does have to be big. And
why?
Why? Because we need a lot of water to cook pasta in for many different reasons.
But I've seen so many videos where you could use just this size.
No. Pasta needs to be cooked in a lot of water. So a great thing to have is just a dedicated pasta pot. Could be made out of aluminum, stainless steel, whatever, but go to a restaurant supply store or online and get something that's nice and big. And if you have someone that you're shopping for that cooks a lot of pasta and they make sticky pasta, this is a subtle way to get them to not make sticky pasta anymore. And the reason why their pasta sticky is they're not cooking it in enough water. Big pasta pot.
Alright, a classic that makes most kitchen and cooking gift lists is the cookbook. So we thought we'd share a few of our favorites that we turn to all the time. Now there is the classic silver spoon. There are actually two versions of this, the English and the Italian, which do differ. But what makes these books really cool is it teaches you how to cook kind of the way Jason talks about as well, and cooking with the season and what's available to you. So say you go to the market and you see right now a ton of broc la robe. So you look up broc la robe and you find 4 recipes with broc la robe. So it breaks it down by the ingredient versus just first dish, second dish, antipasti, and kind of the traditional way. I love it. I know there's some apps for it and stuff too, but the Italian version is great. No pretty pictures really, just great recipes.
One that I've gotten into this year is a book that my brother gave me a few years ago now, and it's dog ear. I use it a lot. And the Food's a Spin by Claudia Rodin. I don't know. I don't know who this is or anything more about this person, but I know that they made a cookbook that I've cooked a dozen dishes out of. This is a great cookbook to get.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful.
All right, the last gift, number 10 on our list. This is one that isn't so easy to find. You're going to have to do a little searching, and maybe on eBay, Etsy. This is one that has a story. This.
Do you have the cheese out?
No, I totally forgot. I had to forget to do something. So this, we didn't even know what this was at first, to be honest. And we were talking about how we needed a cheese grater to a friend of ours from town, and she said, well, why don't you just use the one that's upstairs? And we said, what are you talking about? She said, this one. Well, we thought this was just some weird, like, coffee grinder or something, and I'll have to bring it up close so you guys can see. But what it is, is, can you see?
Yeah, take it back a little. You're real blue. Go.
Okay, so it's a drum with nails that are sticking into it, or out of it, and you stick a piece of cheese in here, close this, push pressure on it, and turn. Now, when we do
it.
Okay, we'll do it. And tell the story. Come on over. And as I'm grading, because I'll show you how easy it is to use, we'll tell the story of what these are for. So, actually, when I went to find, you know, what is this from? There's a mark on here that says Cantoni. And I found out this is an Italian military grade cheese grater that was for the field. Because when you go out to battle, the last thing you could possibly do is run out of cheese. I mean, God forbid. And look at that! Fresh grated cheese! Can you see?
No,
Pick what up?
I love it.
You're not telling me.
That's fine. Right.
All right, put the camera back. So this one, you'll have to do a little footwork for to find a little research online, but it is pretty freaking cool. It looks great on the shelf, but it really does work. And it's just both a cool kitchen tool and a great little Italian history story as well.
All right, I think we've taken up enough time. So
I think so also.
There you go, from the big to the small, some gift ideas for Christmas time.
Buon Natale! Ciao!